Malik. I go by Lex. I'm a designer. I'm born and raised in Arizona, and that's me. I was educated, I want to say, mostly here in Arizona in South Phoenix. I do have a father on the East Coast, and I do have a grandmother who's a designer from New York. She kind of taught me everything I know about the fashion industry and kind of got my passion onto fashion. I would say my passion with design started with cars more than anything. My dad worked for Toyota for 20 years, starting 20 years now. So when I was a kid, he was already working for Toyota, and I was always building model cars, trying different things, and just adding my style to my clothes, my car, stuff like that. So I would say the automotive world kind of got me to design more than anything. I would say my core design values are not just doing it because it looks cool, not just doing it only because I want to, but solely to either help or push a narrative or put a message behind what I'm doing. So really just adding value to what I create. I would say it's more with the thought because I mean, I'm always in my notes getting thoughts every day. I would say the way I kind of design is it's more writing down what I feel or what I think and just what comes to mind. I like to go outside, like drive around, stuff like that. And I'm a big film head, so watching old movies and just seeing a different perspective on different things. And then I start on paper and then further on and so forth. I'll say what I'm working on now. I have a big goal and plan to get into luxury fashion houses and create a different world with luxury wear. But I'm doing streetwear now. I'm working on a capsule collection that's circled around hometown and paying homage. So, being born and raised in South Phoenix, just finding inspiration and where I've been going as a kid to create certain pieces. And I'm, making more than just t-shirts now. And it's actual constructive pieces that kind of taking me back to when I was a kid. So really just conversation. I'll say the most thing when I created is I wanted to spark a conversation. So I'm I'm a pretty extrovert person, so I like to have the initiative to start a conversation, but I do like to see where it can go without me controlling it. So really just talking to somebody. Like I say, driving around is a big thing for me. I like to do that a lot. Just going out, being outside. And just really conversation is the best way. And to see what we create as a collective is what kind of what I go about.
Cool.
Biggest challenges I've faced because I'm super hard on myself is controlling what I can control. So, I mean, I have goals of being in the same conversation as brands that's been around since the 1800s, like Prada, Louis Vuitton, Hermes. So, just trying to plan it out correctly to where somebody who doesn't know me can see it in that same light and not as just an intro in the world that has to make his way up, which I do understand. That's how life works. But just trying to find credibility in what I'm creating as I go lively. I think design is going to the best place that it's ever even been. I mean, of course, like I said, it's going to the future and more modern technological kind of processes, but it's really going into a minimal way that we're not overly doing things that are not needed. It's getting more sustainable. It's getting easier for us to, build crazy designs that were so outlandish back in the day. But I would say design is going into a world that's going to not only help certain people, but also help the world. And just the innovation of it is so extreme. And I just say design is going to a world where people with more talent are getting the respect they deserve versus just the credible brands that have been around for so long. Independent designers are kind of going to run the design world, I want to say, in 5 years from now. See, with the whole advice thing, I'm always going to go with this initial one. I say, regardless of where you are, whatever idea you have, do it at the level you see it at. Don't do something that you see at a higher level and bring it down because you're new in the game or because you haven't been here for 5 years like somebody else. If you see value in what you're doing, do it at that high pace, regardless of if this brand's been around for 20 years, that's at this pace. Put the product out, stay true to yourself. And my number one advice that I can give is don't use a template. I feel like that's the most important thing because a lot of times we have great ideas, but we compare it to different things that have been around and we use it as a template to kind of change what we want to do or create what we want to do. Start from scratch, create what you see in your head, and try to make it as connected to what you're doing as possible. Of course, follow the rules, take the core values with it, but don't use a template. That's the main thing.
Mhm.